Hey guys, Loot Wizard here, and it is the first day of the week, so we have the Soulforge, new troops, new weapons, new kingdom for this week, for event keys, all that kind of stuff. So let's get right into it. So first of all, the name of this new troop is Dynamite Goat, and we'll go take a look at him in the Glory Shop after we take a look at what's in the Soulforge. Now, as far as events going on this week, it's going to be the Guild Wars, so don't forget to set up your Sentinels and your defenses for Guild Wars, because that's going on this week. Now, the new Mythic troop is still available this week until Friday. You can get it in Glory, Gem, Guild, or VIP chests. Now, if you want to know what I think of this Mythic after I've had the weekend to play around with it and come up with a few teams, it's not quite as powerful as I initially thought it might be. So I would say it's like average, below average for me. More of a troop. I don't think I'm gonna use it a whole lot. So just if you guys were wondering what my final opinion was on that new Mythic. So let's go to the Soulforge and see what's in there. Soulforge, and let's start at the weapons. So first of all, we have a weapon here that even I don't have yet. I might consider crafting this myself because it is called the Flesh Ripper, and it will eliminate all armor from an enemy. It'll deal 29 damage boosted by armor eliminated. The boost ratio is a third of the armor will be done as damage. It's 3 to 1. So I always like these weapons that eliminate all armor because they're really good for events, especially things like Raid Boss, because you want to attack that Raid Boss and eliminate all of his armor. Is just a really great way to do a lot of damage. And then to get a boost on top of that, it's pretty good. I don't think it'll be quite as good as something like Earth's Fury, because Earth Fury or Trickster Shot, because those weapons have a way to repeat the boost of damage. Earth Fury through increasing your attack damage, and Trickster Shot through increasing its magic damage. This is just going to be a one-time boost, and then once the armor is gone, you won't be able to continue to do a boosted damage to it. So it's not as good as one of those two weapons, but you know, I might craft it just because it still looks like it's going to be a pretty good weapon to have in your arsenal. So that's an option to craft in the weapons. Does cost 300 diamonds, and of course there's the 600 jewel cost there for red and yellow. Those seem to be, hard to come by sometimes, but just make sure you're doing your daily dungeons, and you should have quite a few of those. Now, moving down here, we do have a weapon that I would say you should craft before, or if it's an either or situation where you can only afford to craft one weapon here, Flesh Ripper or Norbert's Turnip. I'm gonna say you need to get Norbert's Turnip, because this weapon is really great because it's for goblins. If you have the Thief class unlocked and you use this weapon with the Thief class, because that's considered a goblin, then we put 3 other troops that are goblins in that team, and of course one of the greatest goblins of all time is Gobtroffle. So you could put him in there. You could put the Fiddler Goblin, and there are a couple of other good ones you can put in there. And that combined with this weapon, it just really generates a lot of mana, and you can just keep getting extra turns. So if you missed out on this weapon, now is a good time to get it. And I'll say too, real quick here, that if you're just like looking for a good team where you can level up any class, if you're just farming for class XP and you want to just use a different class even besides the Thief class, you can still use this weapon with goblins, and it works really well. It won't generate as much mana, but it still does generate enough mana most of the time for you to still get extra turns. So what I mean is, like, if you want to level up, let's say, if you're still trying to level up Titan class, for example, you don't have that at 100 yet, you can equip Titan, and equip this weapon, and then put 3 Goblin troops in your team, And there you go. Now you got a really good weapon here that'll generate mana for those goblin troops, and you're also going to be able to get some XP for that class. So, but yeah, that weapon right there, if you don't have it, you should craft that before the Flesh Ripper. Alright, now moving on to troops, we're going to go over the summoning stones, and then we'll go down to the rest of them. Starting at blue summoning stones, looking at just what's right here, I don't think there's anything that you should go for in here. These troops just aren't that great. Green. The best one here is Egg Thief. If for some reason you don't have Egg Thief yet, or if you don't have Egg Thief ascended to Mythic, you should probably try to spend a few jewels here to get Egg Thief, because this is one of the greatest troops in the game for gold teams. It will gain gold, but it destroys gems boosted by its gold. And once you get, if you have Cedric unlocked from the vault and you have his traits unlocked, you can get that nice boost of gold. Once you get up to like the max of 200 with Cedric, you're just going to be destroying the entire board with Egg Thief, and you'll be getting mana for every single troop on your team like instantly. So Egg Thief is a great troop. It's here in the summoning stones for Green Day. If you don't have it, get it. Now for red, nothing here either. Bunch of just average low troops. For what color is this? Yellow. So for Yellow Day, the only troop in here I can suggest is Lamashtu. Lamashtu is one of those empowered troops that converts mana, converts yellow to purple. So if you don't have that yet, you might want to consider trying to get that if you have the yellow summoning stones to spare. Now remember, you do want to also save your summoning stones for crafting weapons. So you don't want to just keep using these constantly for anything in the summoning stones. You want to be picky and choose like which troops are the best to go for. In this one, Ice Troll's probably the better one in this group, but I still wouldn't even go for that. For brown, No Bend Brothers. This is one of those goblin troops that's actually really good. And if you don't have it yet, which, maybe you don't. This is more of a, it's not a legendary card, but it is I don't know if it's an ultra rare. It's something that's close to a legendary, and it might not drop for you that easy. So if you don't have it yet, now would be the time to go ahead and try to get it. Goblins always gain an extra turn, and then it will either eliminate attack from all enemies, or it'll deal damage to all enemies, or it will explode gems on the board. So it's actually a pretty good troop. Most all goblins are really good. But yeah, I would say if you don't have No Bend Brothers, he's worth that card's worth getting there in the brown summoning stones. Now moving on here over legendaries, all the legendaries are pretty much crap. Sorry to use such a strong word, but Abharoth, it can be good, but it's really situational. Crimson Bat, there's way better troops than this. Even though true damage is pretty strong, there are better troops than this. And Scion, really just more of an annoyance than it is an actual threat as far as damage goes. Leviathan, not really great. It's more of a disturber, disruptor, knocking the first enemy to the last position. It'll deal some damage. But those legendaries, definitely not worth crafting any of those. Now moving on to Mythix. Nothing really great for Mythix in here except maybe the Grey King. Famine, I don't really ever use Famine. But it drains mana from all enemies, deals damage, boosted by mana drained. But there are quite a few troops now that are immune to mana drain, so it's really not as useful as it probably once was. Then we have Elamagrum. Elamagrum is a dragon mythic troop, and it's pretty decent. But to really use its power effectively, you do have to unlock all of its traits here. It will decrease all enemies' attack by 4 on a 4/5 gem match. Does deal damage to all enemies, has a way to create gems, purple gems here, 8 of them, and it is the color that it uses, so that's always a plus in my book. But Still, there are better mythics to craft besides this one. Then we have Garangatar, and this has got to be one of the most just pathetic mythics in the game. I wish it was better. I wish we actually had a good orc mythic. Like, just, we have 2 orc mythic troops, and they're both just, they underwhelming. So not much I can say about this troop other than it's just not good. I would never, ever, ever spend 4,000 diamonds to craft that. Not even if it was the very last mythic troop that I had to collect. I still wouldn't spend the 4,000 diamonds to craft it. Okay, so moving on here, the Grey King. This is going to destroy gems of a chosen color. All enemies of that color take true damage and are mana drained, silenced, and frozen. So, like, it's got so much going on for it. Sure, you have traits here that would make the troop a little more powerful, but you don't really need to do that. It has a lot going on for it right in its ability. Plus, the ability to destroy gems of a chosen color means that you will be able to, if you have blue, brown, or purple on the board, and there are enemies that are using that color, you might as well just pick those colors, and you can, get some mana back into this troop, and then you'll be able to cast it quicker once again. So it has the ability to give mana to itself, and all enemies, true damage is powerful, and then mana draining, silencing, and freezing an enemy. All those things are really good. So Grey King. If you don't have that one, and you have some of the other better mythics too, like Tina 9000 and some of those good mythic troops like that, then Grey King might be something you want to consider crafting this week. But yeah, that's the only mythic troop here I would consider crafting. It's the Grey King. Second to that is Elamagrum. That's pretty much it. Yeah. And so let's move on to the Glory Shop. Where is it? Did they change it? Did they change it in the new update? There used to be Glory here, right? Here we go. Dynamite Goat. This is the new troop. So here's its ability. Knock an enemy to the back, explode 2 gems boosted by their life, and the boost ratio is 10 to 1. That's a little higher than I would like it to be. Explode 2 gems boosted by their life. So it'll explode 1 more gem per 10 of their life. I think that's what's going on here. So if the enemy has, let's say 70 life, then it will explode the 2 plus the 7, which is like 9 gems. Interesting. But would be even more interesting if it started with like 50% mana at least. But it doesn't. Not much going on for the traits. A little bit of skull damage reduction by 20%. Gains a bonus to red mana. But, yeah, I don't know. This might be a troop that you could fit into a team somewhere. But, yeah, I don't know. That's a cool looking picture, though. Dynamite Goat. Huh. But if you do need the Arcane Beast trait stones, now is a good time to purchase them. If you can spare some glory. Alright, so that's taken care of. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the event here. So, Zygon Troops. This is the event, and the event is going to be for the Kingdom of Zygon, which is where all the goblins live. So, opening your event keys this week is, if you don't have, we're going to go and check out the troops that are in this kingdom, but if you don't have High King Iron Gut, then you definitely should open some keys, some event keys. So here's what we're looking at for the Zygon Kingdom. Yeah, okay. So anyway, these are the troops. If you want a High King Iron Gut, did I say High Forge before? I think I might have said High Forge. Man, my brain not working quite as quick right now. That's all right. So this is the troop that I meant, High King Iron Gut. If you do not have this troop, it is one of the best mythic troops that you can get because it works very well for pretty much all the events, delves, you know, except maybe like raid boss, and you know, there's maybe a few situations where it's not optimal. But if you can get the attack damage close to 100, because the attack damage is its percentage of devour. So if you can increase its attack, and there are troops and weapons in the game where you can increase the attack of your troops, so you can pretty much guarantee that High King Iron Gut here will devour an enemy if you can do that, and as long as the enemy isn't immune to devour. So opening your event keys will give you a chance to get that mythic troop. Now, as for the legendaries, you have the Goblin King and you have Queen Grapplepot. Both of these are not super good legendaries. The legendary goblin troop that you want to get, which is probably easier to get than those two, is King Gobtroffle. Now, you won't be able to get this troop in your event keys this week. You will have to go down to the Underworld and in the Amanithrax Kingdom or Faction. I believe they're called factions down there, not kingdoms. But yeah, it's in that faction where you can open some portal shards and get this guy right here. It's one of the best troops in the game right now, and it's one of the best goblins. So yeah, that's awesome. Now, you'll have a chance to get a few of these other ones too in No Ben Brothers, Princess Fizzbang, String Fiddler, the Toad Squeezer. Turtle Cannon is actually a pretty good tank and mana generator. And you'll have a chance to get all those guys. Goblin Shaman is still pretty good for generating green mana and gaining that extra turn. But yeah, there's a few good troops here, but definitely you want to go for this guy right here if you don't have him yet. And so that's pretty much it for the Soulforge. As I said in the beginning, Guild Wars is the event this week, so go ahead and set your sentinels and your defense and all that good stuff and prepare for the war. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got for Soulforge and for all of what's going on this week, basically. So yeah, short video today and for this week, Soulforge. So hopefully you guys got something out of that. Definitely go for the Norbert's weapon if you can in the Soulforge if you don't have it, and definitely try to get High King Iron Gut. Those are the two things that I recommend that are the most important to try to get this week. So thanks for I can't talk. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Later.